All right, guys. Let's see. Can you guys see the screen and hear me? This is my second time trying this. Hopefully it works. So right next to you guys, there's a live chat. Let me know. If not, then message me on the Discord. Can you guys see me? And awesome. Thanks, Carlos. Okay, so let's get going. All right, everyone, let's get started. So I want to show you guys there's a big divergence happening here, and it's happening between the charts as well as the flow that I'm noticing. So we're looking at the SPX daily chart here, and what I'm looking here is I'm going to zoom in. It's a daily chart. We kept the 200 moving average and closed above this. Usually, like if you look at every single time we've touched this trend line, we've bounced back up, and either we failed this yellow line or we went all the way up to this trend line. So I think just looking strictly at the charts, the next position we have is 4,002. I think that's where we're heading to, unless we break this line, which is 39.34. Within this area, it's chop. So if we don't break this 39.70 area, I think we should open above it. But if we don't, we're going to consolidate. Mondays are usually trend days. So I think based on just plain chart, no macro, no flow, it looks like 4,000 is possible on Monday. In terms of the chart itself, if you look at the consolidation that's happening around here, it's looking like a big move's happening, especially around this level. We've been consolidating since about a month now in this level from 40.61 to this 38.40. At some point, we get a big breakout and a trend day, a trend week, perhaps not a trend day. So when I was looking at SPX, I wanted to look at what the generals were doing. When I usually refer to generals, I mean, are you guys getting an echo? Sorry, I just saw that. Just let me know if you guys are. I'm just going to hold on for a second. Just make sure my audio is perfect. Are you? Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so I wanted to look at generals, and when I say generals, I refer to as basically stocks that make up SPX or SPY. So I'm going to show you something. It's like we're talking just charts, and we'll get into flow after that. If we just look at Microsoft as a whole, look at this. I used to play a lot of these chart patterns. It's a bull flag with a nice consolidation, and this is not bearish at all. So if I look at this, we are actually above we're above this supply here. Let me draw this as well. So basically this should be, hold on. Basically, if the next candle falls above this, so if we're above 280, 300 calls aren't bad for Microsoft. I would look at April 21st calls, and this is just based on charts. The flow, however, we'll get into it. The flow is all over the place. Let's actually get into it right now. If we go look at the golden sweep, they added 280 April 14th, 1.29 million. That's pretty big. So what I'm trying to say is the chart looks very good. The flow, however, looks very bearish. The flow last 2 weeks have been very bearish, but the buying hasn't stopped. I was speaking to one of my mentors, and the CTA levels, they switched to selling instead of buying. So if we go up, that will bring more pain for them, which will squeeze higher. CTAs are trend traders that basically buy big amounts. So the line was 35 billion to buy on a flat day. It's not anymore. It's actually to sell. I don't know what the amount is, but my point being is, if we go down, everyone goes in profit in terms of the CTAs. If we go up, they go in loss, which causes a short squeeze. So if we just plain look at the charts, it's simple. You above this, you have nothing but to go up. 288 is the next level on a weekly. That's about a 200% gain. on a 300 call, but I'm looking at the April 25th, 21st. You guys look at Apple, it's the same thing. It's got a flag here, right? It's got a flag and it's right at the supply. But the problem here is that we're on supply as well. So 162.14 is the supply. That being said, chips don't look that good. I'll show you SMH because we're in it. So this is why I got in the trade. Hey, someone tell me what this looks like. There's a 10-second delay, I believe, so I'm just going to wait to see what you guys think about it. So what do you guys see here? Yeah, it's a bear flag on the hourly, and that's why I got into the puts. We have a 200 moving average, 200 moving here. What is it? It's on 217. So this is, let me show you guys something. We haven't done this in a while. This is the wrong. I don't know if you guys remember RSI. RSI should not be pointing downward. It should be pointing upwards. Like if you go look at the 5 minutes, it's pointing upward. But if you look at the daily, it's pointing downward. So if you look at this bear flag here, we are, if look at the last time we were at this RSI, just so make things more simpler for you guys, 62.19, we actually topped here. So I think this might be front running the drop if we do drop. So let's go look at AMD. Let's look at hourly. Let's look at daily. So here's the chart. So we had a falling wedge, then a bump, then we had a falling wedge here. It touched the 200 moving average and hit it right at 102. 104, 106 is the supply. Does it get retested? We're going to find out because as much as the QQQ looks really good, like it looks really bullish, this isn't looking that good. Like if you look at the AMD RSI, it double topped on RSI, which usually means overbought. I don't like the word overbought because there's no such thing as overbought and it can stay overbought for days, weeks, or years. That's not the point. It just looks like if any kind of selling happens, these things will sell off much faster. Now, if you look at Nvidia, same thing. It went above and now it's basically consolidating. Um, in my opinion, Monday is very crucial. Where these candles land and open and close will be key. Let me see. I want to make sure everyone's in. Yeah, perfect. Everyone's in it. Hold on. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to go after this into SPX trading, day trading with Bollinger Band because I think I was testing it for the last couple of days and it works perfect. Like for scalps, it's really good, like 20 to 30% depending on what time of the day you're doing it. It'll work. So we have the Dallas numbers, index numbers coming in on Tuesday, I believe, but the big days that we're watching or Thursday, they're going to be giving the GDP quarter to quarter numbers. And apart from that, Fed has the, what is it called? I forgot the term, but they won't be speaking this week. So that's kind of bullish. Historically, and on Friday we have a bunch of FOMC speakers speaking. The idea here is March usually isn't a good month seasonality wise. April has a 77% bullish thesis, but the problem right now that's happening is listening to this podcast right now. It had Kem and he was talking, and I'll send this to you guys. Send this to you guys later. But what he was saying was that right now the problem is that what Fed was trying to do was they were trying to make it simpler and easier in terms of the inflation. But what's happening with the banks, they're going to have to do more monetary and fiscal policies, which is going to make inflation worse. And so that's going to have a bad impact on equity market, which might take some time, right? So I don't want to be like, okay, we will go down, but we're day traders. We need to know what to do next week. So this idea for next week is simple. We'll go jump to QQQ because this is the strongest sector. Look at where we closed, 311.82. If we get above that, we get 329.74. This is so basically I'm seeing if we get to 312, I'm looking to get calls. Simple. If we fail necessarily, I will see if we can break 310. If we can break 310, you can see some downside, but we need to see how we play. So it's not like go in, start grabbing puts. If we're at 312, I'm looking at calls. If we're at 310 under, I'm looking at puts. Simple. That's all I'm looking. SPX, I wanted to show you guys something that I was testing for. Honestly, it's been a week and it works perfectly. If we go on a 5 minute, let's take all these drawings out for a second here. Add BB. And I'm going to zoom in on just, so the idea behind, if you haven't used Bollinger Band, essentially what Bollinger Band is um, there's a 3% probability that these candles fall outside the BB, which is this band here. 97% of the time, all these candles will fall within this area. When they do fall outside, you want to take a trade opposite. So in this case, how you see how this fell outside, you could have taken calls here, right? There's a very high probability that I've tested. That's how I used to trade on. Let me take the RSI out so it doesn't get confusing. So if you look at this, so the other part of that is if you want to know if a day is going to be bullish or bearish, just look at the last end of it. So 8:40, which is what 9, 10, 11, 11:40 of EST time. Every single time we hit the top and we hit the bottom, we held the mid BB. That usually is very bullish. So if someone didn't get in here, saw this, they could have added somewhere here, somewhere here, somewhere here, and they would have made. So let me give you an example. So in this situation, maybe you missed it, but if you didn't, 39.31 to 51. So it's about 20 points. This should give you about 50 to 80% because we're in the last 4 hours of the day. Then 39.42 to, let's say you sold here or here, that's about 10 points. Then this here, 39.46 to 62. So as we're getting closer time, these are all 100% moves. Does that make sense, guys? I stopped doing this for a while because we were making good money on the swings, and this is where you have to like watch. If the market's really good, you'll see bottom all the way to top. But if we're looking for just scalps, you're looking for the mid BB. So in this case, see how it rejected and it's in the middle. Then it rejected, finally broke it. So this would have been an amazing move. This was 39.13 all the way to 39. So this is a good 30 points, but I'm looking at just this mid BB move. That's what I'm doing. This only works on a range day. If we get a trend day, so I'll show you an example of a trend day. Look at this, what's happening here. This hit bottom here, then bottom, then sideways, and it kept sliding lower. So the bottom never ended. So it takes you about an hour to kind of get an idea of what's happening. So in this situation, it was easy, right? You figure out where it's happening. And once you get one or two licks on the profit, it's much easier to risk. And as I think this strategy works in the last 3 hours, that's what I've tested. And the reason for that is you have enough data to figure out what's happening. So, this is a strong support, this is a strong resistance, and you play in the middle. Does that make sense, guys? There's a bit of a delay, so let me know if you guys see. Okay, so that's sort of what I'm kind of looking at. Instead of looking at what's going to happen in a month to go long swings, I'm going to basically look at this to make money for the day, for the week, and then use that money to do longer swings if that makes sense. Like, go listen to Kemp, go listen to other like bigger investors that have 40, 50 years of experience. All of them are stating that the market's in trouble. It's just when it happens. So for me, I don't think it's smart to go buy Nvidia puts for a month out or 2 months. Yes, you can make money, but it's a headache because it'll be down 30, 40, 20%. I would rather do the NVDS, the SOXL, I believe. I always forget that name. The TSLQ shares, they're inverse, or SQQQ, right? That's much easier, especially for a large account. Like some of you guys have a 100K account. Like, if you threw 5K at something similar to that, and you just like, that's the 5K, 5% shouldn't bother you. That 6 months later, if that, like, we get a big ass drop and that 5K goes to 2025, that's free money in my opinion. And at this level, I think the pain here is Nvidia can see 300, Microsoft can see 300. So I'm still sitting at my 100 shares, which is about 2 grand, right? I will probably convert my different accounts into more shares. Like, my goal is to get to around, I don't want to cost people FOMO, but be a good size. It would be like a 5 or 6 figure size on NVDS or the chip index, because the market is very frothy. Like, if you guys look at QQQ, you could, again, let's go look at QQQ. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I think more people here would be more interested in making money on Monday rather than finding out what happened next month. So let's go do this. Let's go and let's do a replay on. So the lunch happens at 9. We're going to do the BB right after 9, okay? So this is the data that we have. Let's calculate our data, okay? So we know that this was the low until the day, right? That was the gap fill, and this was the high of the day on QQQ, right? Makes sense, simple, nothing complicated. I don't know why I don't see the replay one, so it's gonna have to do with, then I'm going to draw a demand zone here because it's a very, and we're going to play and see if we traded this way on QQQ, how much we would have made. I would test this on QQQ and then try with SPX. Then you know this is the supply. So if you want, you can do a supply here. And so essentially what I'm doing, guys, is if at 9 o'clock, this is what the market looked like on BB, I think I want to buy at 310 if we get here, or if we get above this, I want to get in for a single dollar. Remember, this is 20, 30, 50 max, but we're getting closer. You're going to make 100%. Okay, so let's replay. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. This is how it works. For some reason, it's not letting me doing the replay. So this was 12. Okay, so this, if we caught this move right here on the demand, you would have gone 310 to 395, and the reject, you should have been out. After that, we went right here outside the BB. Sorry, guys. Where am I? Hold on. This was right here. Okay, sorry. So we broke this demand zone, and so this is where I would have gone what do you call calls at 307, and this was your, so I would delete this because we broke this. This was the supply, so I would have taken calls right here. Right here I would have taken calls from 307 all the way to 310. Does that make sense? So I would have done 5 minutes supply and demand, and then done the low and high of the day, and this is after lunch. Tell me if that makes sense. I just want to make sure like I'm making sense, and it's like we'll apply this on IWM. So basically what you're doing is, so you would have taken this, would have been a great trade. You could have taken supply right after this and then basically made some money. Then this was another opportunity, again a supply, so 308. So that, like, if you look at it, I tested this for a week, it works. Make sure you have your supply, demand, low of the day, high of the day. Let's do this on IWM. So this was, hold on, it's 5 minutes, right? So okay, so this is Friday. Let's cut this at 9. Okay, so you have enough data by lunch. So bottom of the day, this was the high of the day. This is also a supply. So we mark this supply as well. Plus we're outside the BB. So personally, at some point here, I would be looking to take a short. And the way I would do the strike price is I would pick this level here, 169, because you have a demand here. Usually, like when I'm using TradingView, it gives me an option of playing it at a speed. I don't know why it's not letting me do it today. Oh, right here. They changed it. So, okay, so see a reject. So this is where I have to do it. Before, I used to be like a bar where I used to play around. So this is where I would have done. So what I would have done was buy puts right here. If I got this candle, I would have done puts at about 169, and finally down. This is a solid consolidation here. This is crazy, but let's see how this ends up. Okay, so this would not have worked. The trade, the way I think, and looking back, is easy, but where would you have exited on the stop loss? I'll tell you where, and then maybe you can think. I know it's hard on YouTube chat, but I'm so used to Zoom. So if I took the trade here, I probably wouldn't have stopped myself here, but this is where I would have stopped out, because this is the second time, and the mid BB is, if you notice, is getting higher, which means that at this level, I think he should be down 10-20%. The problem is this was 9 and this is about 1 hour 50. You could be down about 30 to 40%. So um a better way could be to add Monday puts on a Friday to play this, and that would be about 10-20% down. So this did not work here. Let's try on SPY. I basically did this on QQQ and SPX for 1 week, and it worked perfectly. And the losses were very small. Let's see, 9. High. Low. There is a demand here, and there is a supply here. So we're outside the BB. I think we know what's going to happen. It's going to reject and then bounce. So basically, the trade was once it got outside taking puts. I don't know why IWM is different, but this would have made you. Um, I would have taken the trade right here. The other day, I actually took it with you. I don't know if you guys remember on Friday, people that were in mentorship. I took an SPX trade, quickly got out, then it broke, and I got back right in, and that was because it broke the Bollinger Band, and it went from 260 to 4. That's why. So I think this is when it happened around. So anyway, so this is where I would have entered. So you have to be fast. You can't be like you can't wait for this candle. Anytime it's outside BB and it's hitting this level, I would have gone here. So it says 394 or 5. You might have gone at 393 to around 392. You're getting about a 1 point in about 15 minutes. It should be about 40 to 50% for you guys. So now here so a lot of times with this, what happens is you can't go downside here, upside here, down because it's happening so fast. So this just jumped off. Now we know what happened. We know it ripped through, but pretend you don't. What would you do? So you can't really do anything because you've missed it. If it touches it again, then yeah, but I don't know if it does. So you couldn't have gone in here, but this is where you could have gone into calls. Let's say 393-ish. So so you understand that you can't take 5 trades here. If you got in around this candle, let's say I'm gonna pick the middle. The bottom is 392.83. I'd say you get into 393. This is where you need to be out. So about 1 point, but look at the time it's happening. It's happening around 1:30. So the market closed in 3 hours. This should give you 50%. Now, if you miss this move, you could have taken the short side. In my opinion, you just need to focus on one side. That would be easier rather than think short top, short top. That would be hard. So here, if you took the move, so this is where you would have to get in 394 to 39. So 1 point. That's how much you're getting here. Okay. Anyway, so everyone get the point? We'll try. I'm thinking maybe you guys can paper trade it on Monday, but that's sort of we used to do that a lot back in the days when we used to trade in ranges, and I stopped and I'm like, there has to be a way to trade SPX a lot easier. So this is kind of what I got in. There's another indicator that kind of relies on this. It's called mean reversion, and that's essentially what this is. Basically saying that stocks don't always go up straight. 80% of the time we build range. That's why the BB works. The fact that you give yourself 3-4 hours, you can identify the ranges and you have a better idea. You could do this at the start of the day too, but start of the day, if you get like, let's say, I don't know if we can find something, but if you get a trend day right off the bat, very low probability, but if you got trend day off the bat, you would be basically destroyed if you started shorting it. So in this case, if you look at it, this is another thing I want to let you know. I talked about it. BB, bounce, bounce. This means we're going to go higher highs unless we break the BB. And you're basically buying the dip at every place. Anyways, does that make sense? Sorry, guys. I'm like a little bit slow today. I'm getting used to the YouTube. Hold on. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to do another Zoom video, most likely, or a YouTube video where I'm going to go over flow. I posted something on YouTube and asked people to give me tickers. I have a whole bunch of tickers. I'll be going over the flow. But if you guys have anything, I'm here. I have about 20 tickers that I'll be going over for flow and charts. So that's separate. If there's no questions, I'll end it here. But literally, goal right now is just watch the market for a week. In my opinion, we should see a big sell off either the last 3 days or somewhere around Tuesday. And tomorrow, we need to see where we fall because once again, we look at QQQ. I hope I didn't delete it. I think I did. Yeah. let me go back. Let me just leave you with this last. Focus on QQQ. I've been looking at QQQ. It moves way better. So this is daily. Hold on. There you go. So what I want to leave you guys with. I think one of the fibs is missing from here. So if you guys look at it, go ahead and draw this. If we fail 310, which is a key level, we can see 306 again. But if we get over, where is this level? Sorry, hold on. If we can get over 312, this level here, we can see 350. That's what I'll be watching. Let me see. I have BAC. I'm going to add you and I'll post a video. It'll be for everyone. I'll post it on Instagram for BAC and you. But BAC I covered almost on Thursday at the Come Up Series 2. It's got like for April 421 strike. There's some, I think it's 25 strike price for April 21st. There's a 7.7 million flow on it. It's unreal. BAC's been getting hit nonstop. Let's just look at the chart while we're at it. And also one last thing, I actually want to show this before. I'll post more of it, but if I show you guys something else on weekly, this is not good. Weekly supplies never break through like that easy. So at some point, I think a lot of people are bullish with 300. I don't know if it gets to 300 right away. I don't think so based on the chart and the flow. I think we may get some rush on Monday on the upside to kick people that are buying puts. But by Friday, I feel like this is going to go pretty low in terms of like, I think we should at least get to the demand level, which is 236 on the weekly. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna making another video. I'll be working all day today as well. So if you need anything else, just send me a DM or message me on the Discord. Apart from that, I'm out. Try paper trading on this first. I think it works on QQQ better than SPX because QQQ right now is very strong. So the moves up and down are very clean. This will also work on stocks, but the problem with stocks is it's a week long, so you're not going to get much out of it unless you're playing this on Friday zero days. It doesn't work. It's not worth the effort. Like if you make 5% on Apple doing this, it might not be worth the effort. Risk reward doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Let me know if you guys need anything else. Have a great weekend, and I'm gonna end the broadcast now.